If you want to grab the Arekkz Gaming Festive Jumper or the limited edition pins, they are all live right now over on our store. All the links to all the products are in the description box down below. Hey, what's going on guys? Arekkz here. Welcome back to another video for Borderlands 3, and today I want to talk about a legendary weapon that you are definitely going to want to pick up. This, I would go as far as to say, is a must-have weapon, especially for the new Mayhem takedown. It just shreds enemies if you use it in the right configuration, and that weapon is the CUTSMAN. Now, this is not a new legendary weapon. This has been around for a while, but thanks to the most recent update, it now has a fixed location you can farm. Prior to that, it was of course part of a world drop, so getting it was just a matter of luck. But now, while yes, of course, there is still RNG involved, you do have a fixed location you can go to farm this, which is, of course, massively beneficial. Now, this comes in a variety of different forms. The CUTSMAN is a Mayhem SMG. It's incredibly powerful because the red text for this reads, "Little android man born without a soul." That doesn't really mean much, but when you fire this weapon, you will see that the bullets spread out in this wide horizontal line, this kind of cutting line, hence the name CUTSMAN. And what makes it so good is not only does it come in various different elements, meaning you can of course pair this with an enemy's elemental weakness. You know, for example, the one that we have here is corrosive, really good against armor in the Mayhem takedown. I also happen to have a shock one, great for ripping through shields. I have an incendiary one, great for ripping through flesh. So you can see it's of course pretty versatile in that respect. But the nice thing about the way the bullet fires is that this hits a large number of targets. And of course, if you're fighting a boss that has multiple weak points or is just in general like a large enemy, something like Wotan, for example, who is a hefty mech, this now means that the entire width of this bullet, when it starts spreading out, it hits multiple times, so it just does a ton of elemental damage. Now, we happen to have this paired with the Amara build that we have, which I'll be doing a video on later on today. This is an incredibly powerful build. It's what we've been using to run through Mayhem 4. This is everything you're seeing right now. This footage is in Mayhem 4. We've been running through, blitzing through this boss, farming a load of stuff, and this weapon paired with this build has been an incredible combination. It is just so much fun to mess around with, so incredibly powerful. Doesn't really matter what modifiers you have, it just shreds. You can of course see in this situation the corrosive one we have has 1,399 damage, has 63% accuracy, and some of the perks down below. This one rolled with 35% weapon charge speed, which is quite nice because it is a charged weapon. It does consume 2 ammo per shot. It has plus 60% melee damage, plus 69% projectile speed, and this one happens to have an anointed bonus, which is on action skill end. The fire rate is increased by 11% and reload speed by 26% for a short time, which is quite nice again because this is actually quite slow to reload. Similarly, the incendiary one we have, it's not anointed, but similar kind of rolls on this one. Of course, 1,543 damage. And the shock version, again, very similar. Killing an enemy grants 5% weapon damage and reload speed for 25 seconds. This effect stacks. So all of these are pretty nice, but the reason I have this one, the reason I run with this is because, of course, in our Amara build, depending on, of course, what you're fighting, if you take the Mayhem takedown as an example, you run through this and say, when you fight some of the enemies, first you want to rip off the shields, then of course you're fighting against typical flesh if you're talking about the ground troops, and of course then when you get to the bosses, you switch over to the corrosive one, and of course it rips through armor. So, a very good weapon, very potent, and if you want to get this, then the guaranteed farm is Borderlands. Now keep in mind, this does still factor into world drops, so we did actually get these versions, the one you're seeing here, both myself and my teammates, we got these to drop while we were just playing through the Mayhem takedown, so it can still organically drop from other locations in the world, but if you want a fixed location that you can reliably farm it, what you want to do is you want to go over to Promethea, go to the Meridian outskirts, select this travel point here, this fast travel station, because it's the nearest one, and you effectively want to go up to this raised area here. You go through the lift, you climb up to the top, and this right here, as you can see marked on the map, is where Borderlands has a chance to spawn. Now keep in mind, unlike conventional bosses, he is a rare spawn, so he will not be there every single time. It just so happened that when I went to record this video, he happened to show up straight away, which was rather convenient, but point is, he's a rare spawn, so he might not show up every single time. If he doesn't, simply quit to the main menu, load back in, go back to the location, and of course he has a chance to then show up. Now, do keep in mind as well, he does have 2 legendaries, technically speaking, assigned to him. He has, of course, the CUTSMAN, and he also has the Sawbar, so you might well farm him and he might drop the other one, which of course might be a little bit inconvenient, but the point is, as of the new update, they've basically assigned a lot of the legendaries to specific bosses and rare spawns to make it easier to farm for something more specific. So, if you want to get this weapon, this is where you want to go. This will be where you can best spend your time to reliably farm in the hopes of getting this weapon. And again, keep in mind, it drops in various different versions, so you might want to farm for multiple ones, because if you do like it that much and you do have a build that works around it, then of course having the option to switch between these ones to, you know, match up with your enemies is pretty nice. But that's pretty much it. That's a quick video on the CUTSMAN. Definitely a very, very good weapon. I would say a must-have weapon in a lot of loadouts. Incredibly good elemental damage, great for Mayhem 4, especially if you have the right build. And if you guys want to see how we are doing the damage we're doing right now, then of course stay tuned later on today, because I'll be dropping a video on our Amaro build, which will show you guys how we're doing what we're doing right now. I really hope you guys enjoyed that video. Remember to hit that subscribe button and also click on the little bell icon to turn on notifications so you don't miss my next upload. Also, don't forget, you can check out 269 and Paradise Central streaming over on Twitch 6 days a week. You can find a link to the multi-stream in the description box down below. Be sure to drop by and get involved. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy. Catch you next time. Peace out.